All right, well, enough talk of alcohol. Like this is gonna turn into like the Gamer Anonymous's show. But what's it called? We'll go ahead and move into our nerd news, guys. We have a big topic right around the corner, but we did want to cover some of the news that's trickling out pre E3. So we'll go ahead and tackle the gaming stuff first. Adnan, if you're cool, I'd like to take this piece first, if that's cool.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I wrote it. What? That you can find on GamerHeadlines.com, of course. But so Microsoft made a very surprising announcement earlier this week. They announced a new Xbox One bundle and a price cut for the other models of the system. So to clarify, a post on Major Nelson's blog detailed that the new Xbox One bundle is going to include a new Xbox One console that has a matte finish to it and has a terabyte hard drive nestled deep in the system. It'll also, for a limited time in select regions, contain a copy of Halo the Master Chief Collection, and it has the newly designed Xbox One controller, which I don't think we've actually talked about on the show, but just for clarification, the new controller basically features a 3.5mm stereo jack, and Microsoft has fine-tuned the bumpers, among other little features. So if you guys want to get that, if you own an Xbox One and you want to buy that, you can buy it separately. I think it's like $65. And anyway, so the new bundle is going to be priced at $400, but Microsoft also announced that effective now, like right now, that the 500 gigabyte Xbox One consoles have received a permanent price cut and will now be priced at $350. So that's pretty. Oh, and by the way, this new bundle is coming out the week of E3. It's coming out next week on Tuesday, which, if I recall correctly, is the day after Microsoft's press conference. So, pretty ballsy move of Microsoft, right, to announce this price cut, right before E3. Not even during E3, which is usually what people... Remember back in the day, people would, give us all the juicy tidbits, look at all these games you can buy. By the way, price cut, what? And then everyone's like, oh, crap, I gotta get it. It's a price cut. So, pretty ballsy move that they're just, straight up, oh, no, it's available, price cuts right now. You can buy the 350 unit right now, or you can wait next week and buy the terabyte one.
Yeah, I mean, E3 will become irrelevant in 10 years. It slowly is becoming irrelevant. I think most of the publishers don't really care about it anymore, and same with same with a lot of the other big free companies, because it doesn't really offer the same kind of platform that Paris Games Week or Gamescom offers, especially to the public. It's very much a tight controlled press event. But I wouldn't be surprised with this either. That I was always thinking that a price drop would be coming for Microsoft's Xbox One. Mm-hmm. They have just done a pre update of the Xbox One system update, so
right.
that is meant to be preparation for a future big update. So I think they're going to really kind of revamp the dashboard and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think we'll get details on that at E3. I think I said that last week that might happen.
Right.
1 terabyte is pretty much standard. I'm surprised the PS4 and Xbox One aren't a terabyte.
Yeah,
as they are.
Especially with how much data. Even if you don't buy digitally, disc games have to install, and it's like a large. Yeah, it's a big chunk. It's on average 40 to 50 gigs, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. I know. Yeah. I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to have to take out the hard drive of my PS4 and replace it with a 2 terabyte because it's not going to have enough room. But yeah, so I wasn't surprised with that. I'm still kind of pissed off that they haven't redesigned the model. Maybe that's going to come in 2 or 3 years from now. But I won't buy an Xbox One until they get a revamped model where I can stand it up. I fucking hate that box. It looks like a really shit VCR. Not taking away from the system itself. The system itself is very good. It's just that it looks stupid as fuck. It looks like it's just come out in the 90s. I really thought they would revamp it to make it look, stand up and be a bit slimline. And the controller still makes no sense with no battery internal recharging power.
Yeah,
I just don't. I mean, the DualShock 4 is not brilliant because of that light bar, which depletes the battery like fucking hell. But it's still, I prefer the fact that I don't have to, buy Duracell batteries or something left, right, and center for a
I
controller, or I have to buy an external adapter.
Yeah, I was. God, I'm losing my voice. Actually, yeah, I was about to say that, dude. I've been playing The Witcher 3 so much on my Xbox One that I did have to, like, I was going through batteries so much, and I was spending so much money. I'm like, I've been spending a lot of money on batteries lately. So I did buy the external thing and the battery cover, the play and charge kit or whatever. And dude, it's so like ridiculous. That's the year 2015, and I had to buy a peripheral to charge my controller. Like that's so silly that Microsoft chose to go that route. I don't like, what were they thinking? Did they cut a deal with the battery company? I mean, like Duracell and them are slipping paychecks. I mean, what's going on?
Who knows? I just still think it's stupid. I mean, obviously, the additional kind of millimeter jack is helpful for other people, but it's still not a selling point. And I'm not surprised that they have actually done it before E3. It makes sense because obviously, if you're leading up to the E3 hype and when the stuff are getting announced, they might get people to pick up Xboxes because they're cheaper. Because the holiday season's already kind of built for them, so they don't really need to announce a price cut at the holiday season. They want to get people to buy the content for the Xbox in the holiday season, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a predictable move, and it's a good move from Microsoft. I can see PlayStation dropping the price on the Vita at E3 and probably the console, but we'll come on to that later.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, damn, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's definitely one of those first like big announcements made prior to E3, which they've been trickling out all this week. We actually had to kind of like funnel through them and only report on a handful of them, but yeah, a lot of like little pre-3 things are happening. But anyway, that's besides the point. Well, dude, do you want to cover this next gaming piece?
Yes, I will. So, another E3 piece of news. Capcom has pulled back the curtain on its games lineup for E3, which will include a wide spectrum of title, including a compilation of old-school Mega Man games.
Ooh.
So, titled Mega Man Legacy Collection, this bundle from developer Digital Eclipse will feature, quote, faithful reproductions, end quote, of all 6 original Mega Man titles, along with a challenge mode, which remixes gameplay segments from all 6 games. It will also feature a museum mode containing a, quote, comprehensive collection of history, high-res art, and original concept pieces, end quote. The Mega Man Legacy Collection will be available as digital download in both North America and Europe this summer for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, and will make its way to Nintendo 3DS sometime this coming winter. In addition to the news of the Legacy Collection, the Capcom has confirmed that Resident Evil 0 HD and Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition will be available on the show floor at E3, and this year's Expo will also, quote, mark the first major event appearance, end quote, for Street Fighter 4 with a tournament stage and interactive photo opportunities for these at the show.
Oh boy. So
yeah, it's a lot of information.
Capcom wasn't kidding when they said that they're going to start focusing on HD remasters, huh?
Yeah.
Like, damn. Well, for the Mega Man collection, right prior to us recording, I told you, dude, it's funny. I saw this, like, I saw this news piece or whatever, and I got excited for a little bit. And then I remembered how crappy I am with Mega Man games, and I didn't care anymore. I'm like, well, no. Like, I don't plan on buying it anymore. But I have to say, I don't know if... I think it was another article. There's a quote from Capcom that they said that they really like what the Criterion Collection does for films, and that's what they're hoping the Mega Man Legacy Collection is to these first 6 titles. And I think that's really beautiful. I think that's something that gaming hasn't really achieved yet. We release these remasters, but there's not like a unified brand that kind of like releases all these different games or does these remasters for all these different companies. And I hope one day we get something like that because we're going to come to a point where our cartridges aren't going to work anymore, and we're going to have all these like different copies of the movies or games or whatever, but we need like a definitive version of it. But whatever, that's like another topic for another podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that's really cool. As for their lineup, boy, a little bit underwhelming. I mean, I'm looking forward to learning more about the Resident Evil Zero remaster because I'm looking forward to that. Devil May Cry 4, I could care less, and really the only main thing they have, it seems, for this E3 is Street Fighter 5.
Yeah,
that's really the only new title they're supporting, and I bet you anything that's going to show up at Sony's press event, since that's obviously a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect that Capcom are doing this. They're going to keep going down the HD remasters routes, just the same as Konami's placing the emphasis on mobile.
Mm-hmm.
I think this company, the publishers are just becoming more and more irrelevant. I wouldn't be surprised if Capcom eventually gets acquired as a first-party studio by Sony. I just think it's heading down that road one day. And obviously Street Fighter 5 is the big announcement that's going to be happening for them. And they don't really have much to show for it now. They really are in a position where, once you've done the HD stuff, what are you going to do then?
Yeah. Like,
Mega Man Legacy Collection, you have every Mega Man game. You can't really do Mega Man again.
Well, it's the 6. It's only the 6 original.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
And then after... I think they said they're focusing on the 8-bit ones, which is Mega Man 1 through 6. And then... I don't know what they're going to do for the future ones, because Mega Man 7 was Super Nintendo. That's 16-bit. And then 8 was PlayStation, which is 8-bit. I mean, I'm sorry, 8-bit, 32-bit. So I don't really know where they're going with that, but whatever. They definitely have, ammunition. I guess that's the new thing. I mean, that's really becoming the new thing, isn't it? That these companies are just getting old games that were awesome like 10 or 20 years ago and just remastering them, and that's. What was the other remaster that
DMC4.
Yeah, so it's oh my god, like it's crazy that we're getting all these remasters to titles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at least it makes it easier for me to kind of say like take it or leave it. Like I could say no to these sometimes because unless it's a game series I really like, because like what's the point at this like of getting I'd rather get a new game than get like a remastered old game that still looks just as good on my PS3, than it does like on PS4 or whatever. Like, oh man, 60 frames, that's great. I mean, maybe if it's a game series I really like, but I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But all right, well, I guess that'll wrap up our gaming news, guys. Of course, we're going to talk about more content a little bit later on the show, but moving on to the entertainment news section, we have a piece of movie news and a TV news. Adnan, I take it you want to take the TV news, so would you be cool if I took...
I don't even know if I want to take it.
You don't? Oh, you don't know? Do you want to take it?
I don't know. Or... It's a little bit barbaric reading it again. I'll take the first one.
Okay, take the first one.
We'll do some changing around this time.
Okay.
So, big news came today in the form of Warner Bros. Releasing an official synopsis for the long-awaited Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. So, the synopsis reads as follows. Fearing the actions of a godlike superhero left unchecked, Gotham City's own formidable and forcible vigilante takes on Metropolis's most revered and modern-day savior, while the world wrestles with the sort of hero it really needs. And with Batman and Superman at war with one another, a new threat quickly arises, putting mankind in greater danger than it's ever been before. And yes.
Wow. Yeah, when I read that, I mean, it's weird because it's the most detail we've known about the plot since ever. But at the same time, it's so, like, there's so much you could, like, it's so little as well. Like, it's like a bare bones outline, but it's still enough to get our gears going. It's a good synopsis.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't know why superheroes capitalized, but that's for itself. But It's just, yeah, it kind of caught me off guard. It's even with Save You being spelled in American English. I was like, what the fuck is that about? Where's an OU? That's why I hesitated. I was like, oh, yeah.
Someone got paid from Warner Brothers. God damn it, this is absurd.
They could have paid me less than this person. I would have done it for them. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting how the take is on it. I mean, mainly the last sentence pretty much tells us more about the actual. I mean, the first sentence kind of makes sense as well a little bit in terms of like, you know, the battle between these two superhero kind of figures and who is the actual, like, you know, the front of the world.
Right.
You know, the one who's going to be the hero of the world that's going to protect it from everything. But the actual last sentence is quite interesting. It tells you that whilst these two are actually kind of like bickering over who's got the bigger biceps, that there is like another figure emerging. And it's not really detailing who it is. You know, it's not Lex Luthor. I hope it's not Lex Luthor. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I like what I read, though. I was kind of interested. I was like, you know what, that's kind of a nice and sweet synopsis of just giving something off.
You know, what really kind of bothers me a little bit, and I think they might have changed their tune. I remember that when this movie was first in production, before they even got the title, they were saying, look, remember, first and foremost, this is the sequel to Man of Steel. So it's very much a sequel to Man of Steel. But I'm starting to think, I don't think so. This really does feel like a crossover movie. Rather than anything else. You know, like, I feel like we might get the Man of Steel 2 movie somewhere down the line after the two-part Justice League movies are over. But I feel like this is just them kind of like getting their two biggest characters and putting them together in a movie. I mean, they've been wanting to make this movie for ages. I just think they happen to have made the Man of Steel before this. But I feel like this could have been made even without Man of Steel being out there.
It's just a bit, yeah, I don't like the marketing campaign, just like how they've been averting questions and like directing towards other, averting towards like other kind of scenarios of what this film is kind of makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Because it kind of leaves Man of Steel in this fringe where it's like, you know what, Man of Steel pretty much was setting up to be a sequel.
Yeah.
For another film, because like, you know, the final part where he actually becomes Clark Kent properly, has the glasses, you know, he's going to see Lois Lane and the Daily Prophet and etc. etc. It was pretty much teasing up to that, and then this one's like, you know what, Wait. You have Superman, and now...
Dude, I'm sorry, did you say the Daily Prophet?
Did I?
Yeah, I think you said the Daily Prophet, like in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
No, sorry, I just thought that was funny.
What is it now with the Daily...
It's Daily Planet, I think.
Daily Planet.
I always get it confused with... Because it's Daily Bugle for Spider-Man, and
I was going to say that's...
Yeah.
I was just about to say, what the hell is Daily Bugle? It's like, there's something... Fuck hell, why they have to all be dailies?
I know, dude. I don't know. I guess people they like their dailies. I mean, shit.
No, he's going to the Daily Prophet. So when he goes to see Lois Lane at the Daily Prophet... I'm not retracting that. He actually goes and sees the Daily Prophet.
Okay, fuck it. we're rewriting the canon. It's the. I mean, They're both Warner Brother owned, so like it's okay.
Yeah, pretty much. And Rhea Ski is in both films. In my mind. So yeah, when he goes to see her at the Daily Prophet, and like, you know, it's TCO time.
It's absurd, but I'm going with it. Just all right, Daily Prophet, right? There's wizards and witches.
Dude,
Superman just walks in.
We're already talking about an alien who's, you know.
Powered by the sun.
Powered by the sun, it can only be killed by a rock from his own planet that glows green. I think there's already enough crazy in this universe for me to call it the Daily Prophet instead.
I think he actually fits in better with Harry Potter, now that you just said that.
He does. It would explain a lot of things, wouldn't it? Might be Voldemort's like twin brother or something, but like, you know, the evil one. The evil one.
The handsome one, you know, the one that has a nose and, you know.
The one that has a nose. The one that's not bald even, and has the girl, and etc. etc. Well, back onto the actual point, yeah, it's kind of teasing up that, and then they're like, you know what? No, we're making a Batman v. They're clustering it up. This film is one of the most... Oh, like, you have to be so optimistic about it just for it to be very good. I just don't have that belief that I can go into this film, you know, thinking like, oh, you know what, this is going to be an excellent Zack Snyder film. Those three words, that excellent Zack Snyder film. Oh, no, sorry. Those 4 words, excellent Zack Snyder film, don't go in the same sentence normally. I don't know why I said 3 words, but anyway, I just don't know. I think I like the synopsis. I like the idea. It's all about execution. Now it's going to be really, really. I think this is going to be. I think this film is going to divide audiences and critics and everyone. I think it's just going to divide everyone. I think Man of Steel did the same. Pretty much divide everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's still people that are like, why was it so fucking dark? And, all that other stuff. Yeah, I don't... Well, I'm very open to the idea. But I am also very... like, I don't know. It's... We've been talking about this movie for such a long time that I'm still very... half and half on it,
Yeah.
But I gotta say though, I'm a huge Batman fan, so and I do think this is a really great what's it called? Like I really think this is a great synopsis for the movie. I don't know why I'm having trouble speaking today. It's a great synopsis, and I want to know how the hell Wonder Woman fits into all this. Because it seems like that's like the outlier, and she has a big role supposedly. Like she also stars in the film, so I don't know if she's going to be like the Scarlett Johansson of this movie, like the Black Widow, like in Iron Man 2. I don't know if that's going to be kind of like her role, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I think, and I hope the villain they're referring to in the synopsis are Doomsday.
Yeah, there's actually I read a rumor about that. I think we might have reported it actually.
Probably.
I mean, shit. Yeah, we've covered everything about this. If it's Doomsday, I'd be very pleased with that because that would be an interesting thing. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. It's a very interesting time because DC is attempting to almost reverse engineer itself into becoming a cinematic universe, like how. Like what Marvel did, but in a different way. And I think it's interesting that they're making the crossover movies first, and they're making like the big team movies first, and then they're gonna kind of like spread it out. And so seeing, what they're gonna include in this, like, they could include Doomsday, and it might seem a little bit overcrowded, but that would also give them space to like have that character come back in a future movie. So yeah, no, I'm definitely intrigued, dude. I'm just also very cautious about it. I'm as cautious of this as I was Guardians of the Galaxy, which turned out to pay off because that movie was excellent. But yeah, I mean, I'll put our "we'll see" stamp of approval as we always do. But yeah, no, it's a good synopsis though. I'll give it that. It was pretty good.
I don't know if I want to see Superman bleed.
Come on, dude. You're not intrigued to see how Bruce does it?
Well, you'll have to see. I'm looking forward to Affleck more than anything, but I don't know. I just think Affleck's getting thrown into like the biggest mess ever because, like, I feel like if you're introducing a new actor to a big franchise and big canon, you really need to establish him first. It's the same thing with the Spider-Man scenario during Marvel. We've been talking about it, and you can't really do that Civil War quote. I'm Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man for how many years he's been Spider-Man. I just don't think you could do that with a new actor.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just doesn't feel right. Andrew Garfield, it would have made sense.
Yeah,
yeah. And then you do it with like a new... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly. You have to earn it. You can't just be Wesley Snipes. You have to be born Wesley Snipes. That's everything.
That Wesley Snipes.
Blade forever, son. Blade forever. Hashtag.
But all right, I guess we'll move on to our last little piece of news here before the big one. So this is our sole TV news of the day or the week.
Oh dear.
So a new trailer for MTV's Scream the TV series has popped up, and it definitely showcases a lot of new things. It's the article here that we're reading this from brings up some good points. That definitely the series is disregarding some of the franchise continuity. This is a new town. It's definitely a new generation, and it looks like, I mean, the new Ghostface, the face is definitely not the face from the movies. It's a different mask that looks almost operatic, or it's very different. And also, the killer is using iMessage to threaten people
Oh,
now.
yes.
Text messages, man. Whew.
Because
And
text messages and WhatsApp are out of date. We have to go with iMessages because everyone in that town has Apple phones.
what I love is how would he tap on the thing if he's wearing gloves? Like
Yeah,
wearing
it's not even-
gloves, it doesn't register. Whatever.
Siri's writing it. Siri, can you please send a message? I'm going to kill this person.
Siri, go ahead and do it. And then,
Yeah.
I can't understand you, you psychopath. But yeah, so very interesting to see how they pull this across. But anyway, the trailer does kind of show off a little bit more of the show. It's a very short trailer. It's only like a minute long, but it does showcase kind of like the atmosphere of the new thing, and it's very much an MTV show. I mean, it definitely has that vibe, and it definitely has like the DNA of Scream is definitely there, but at the same time, I don't know. I could see how this could be a tremendous disaster very easily, and almost corny and not respectful to the original series, but I don't know, dude. I mean, if it's ever on Netflix or something, I'd be willing to, watch the first episode at least and give that a chance. But I don't know if I would actually tune in weekly and see this on a weekly basis. It doesn't really, I like the Scream movies, but I don't know if I'd want to see this as a TV program.
Yeah, it's like making a Friday the 13th TV show and not going to a Camp Crystal Lake.
Well, they did do that, right?
Oh, I'm not even going to talk about that.
I think it was like I'm pretty sure, or it might have been Nightmare. Fuck, I can't remember.
Was it, what, in a TV show? I haven't seen that.
They did a Nightmare one, and I think Robert Edgin was in it as well. Well, I'll look it up while we talk, but yeah, the series, I don't know, dude. It could go either way.
No, because I mean, like, the problem is that this is MTV developed, and it looks like it's MTV developed. This is why people stopped going to MTV.
Yeah.
Because it literally lost touch with everything. It kind of acted too much of an American Pie, and we're way past that right now. And the funny part is, if you look at Scream 4, that kind of shows where Scream doesn't fit in with the 2000s now. Late 2000s, because Wes Craven did that. He kind of had good ideas, but they were just kind of flawed by different problems here and there in the story's continuity and everything else. This just looks like a really fucking dirt cheap, cheesy teen slasher movie, and not even the kind of one you want to watch where it's like Friday the 13th, but actually Scream. It's just like a really B-rated one. Because I think one of the main things with these TV shows, you have to, like, with horror, the main thing is a reason to like the character. To like the main characters, to have a reason to keep them, you want to keep Nancy alive, you want to keep Jamie Lee Curtis's character alive, you like them, even though they are fucking annoying, you have a reason to like a main character, or have some kind of reason behind keeping a character. And, when you make a bad horror movie or TV show like this is going to be, you can kind of see where people are just literally going to be waiting for this guy to kill every fucker on the screen, just because you don't want to see them, because they're that freaking annoying. But I think the thing is, though, I like the fact that they kind of changed the mask, because it might lead to an origins story.
Right.
Of explaining how he got the mask. He wasn't born into the darkness, he was molded by it.
Nice, very nice.
That is my Bane moment for the day. No, I mean, like, the character gets the mask. It's the same with the Daredevil thing. It leads up to, Daredevil getting the mask. Mm-hmm. He starts off as that kind of, like, almost Kenshi-like character, black ninja stuff and everything else. But I think the problem is with this show, it's going to get cancelled after the first season, so we're not going to get to see that mask. Or whenever he gets that mask. I don't know, I mean, it's just... Do you think it's going to be as bad as the In-Betweeners show? The US one?
I never saw the US In-Betweeners.
Watch an episode. Oh my lord. There are some things that should stay British, and the In-Betweeners is one.
Oh, dude, by the way, so yes, there was a Friday the 13th, the series. It actually had nothing to do with Jason Voorhees, or the TV show. It had no story connections with the film series. It was actually a show that was originally called The 13th Hour, and they changed it to Friday the 13th to deliberately draw in audiences.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty lame. And also, there was a Freddy show, a Nightmare on Elm Street show, called Freddy's Nightmares: A Nightmare on Elm Street, the TV series. And it was a spin-off
Whoa.
that had Freddy Krueger was in the openings, played by Robert Englund, and he would introduce each story. So it was like an anthology series, like The Twilight Zone or Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And instead of having the guy at the beginning of Twilight Zone, Rod Serling, you had Freddy Krueger instead. So
Oh my god.
yeah, so kind of
This is why I disregarded that analogy at the beginning, where I said like the Friday the 13th TV show, and just like forgot those existed for good reason. But no, the trailer was just fucking ridiculous. It really was bad. It was just one of those moments where I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Are you stuck in the early 2000s?
yeah.
You know, it's 2015 right now. We've changed vastly from that, like, you know, B-rated MTV show that people used to tune in for every week." Do you know what the funny part was? Do you not think it was over sexualizing everything in that trailer?
Oh yeah,
girl,
the girl going into the pool with her like booty shorts and shit. Yeah, it's typical MTV.
Yeah, and then she was watching herself on Snapchat, being recorded, walking around the house naked. There was a lot of butt shots.
Yeah.
There were moments where she was making out some guy at the end of the trailer. It was so over-sexual. I'm like, we get the fucking point. She is a partyholic. She is going to die.
You know what's funny, dude? It actually almost feels like, remember in Scream 2 when there was the movie within a movie? And it was the first stab movie? And remember how instead of just making popcorn and getting ready for a movie, they made the girl like about to take a shower and she's all sexy? And that was making fun of when they get movies and they adapt it. That's what this is doing.
Yeah, but that was classic Wes Craven. It's like when she takes off the robe and then the phone rings,
right?
And everyone in the audience like boo, like, you know.
Yeah, now MTV's actually doing it, and Wes Craven's not involved. So Wes Craven literally, MTV didn't understand that Wes Craven was making fun of that, and they got a series that made fun of that and had the series do that. That's crazy.
Yeah. They've done it the wrong way around. Like Wes Craven intentionally put satire in Scream,
right?
Because as a great horror film as it is, it's a very satirical film of what it's doing in horror convention. It rips horror convention. It's like a great speech that Randy makes in the first film. You know, about horror movies, like, you know, never say that you'll be back because you won't be. And then, you know, you see Stu turn up, he's like, "You want to know a beer?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll have one." He's like, "I'll be back." And he gets walked the door.
I love that scene.
Yeah, it's so great. And even his Scream 3 scene where he's like, you know, it's a trilogy. You have to kill him in the most, like, you know, he's going to keep coming back. He's going to be, you know, we learn things in the third film, like, you know, Godfather, Jedi, etc. And, you know, he intentionally made fun of that. He always makes fun of that because he is that kind of director. Same with, like, Whedon making fun of Whedon and, is it Goddard making fun in the Cabin in the Woods?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Drew Goddard?
Yes. He directed that and he co-wrote it with Joss Whedon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so those two like really kind of nail that just satirical point where it's like, you know, I'm the virgin, and she's like, "I'm not a virgin." It's like, yeah, but you're the closest we had. So being a virgin, it's just like kind of moments like, oh yeah. But with the Scream TV show, it looks fucking stupid. It looks shit. It's going to get cancelled after the first season. I don't even think it's going to make it to the end of the season. I'd be surprised if they pull the plug quicker.
I think, yeah. I'm pretty sure it would, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
But it's like when it was announced, I was like, oh, a Scream TV show, you know, this could have some kind of thing. It could be like the Cabin in the Woods every week. Or an actual Scream movie every week. But when I heard MTV got involved, I was like, no, thank you. I'm done.
What was it called? All right. Well, I think we should stop the Scream talk and move on.
Yeah.
We should stop because I mean, dude, I think we could be for hours. I mean, God knows we have a history of some movie talking and whatnot.
Yeah, I've watched enough shit horror films to keep talking about shit horror films.